The women's division. It is the best thing going on right now in the WWE. The women's division is now main eventing every Raw and SmackDown, and sometimes the women's division is even better than the men's division. Of course, all the women contributed to this big change. Okay, of course not every woman, but there is some women who play a huge part of it. For example, she's not really a wrestler, but without her, that would have not been possible. Yes, I'm talking about Stephanie McMahon here. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the 10 greatest WWE female wrestler of all time. But before I continue, here is some honorable mention, and to be honest, this video needed to be more than 10, but 20 or 25, but that requires too much job to make the 25 greatest female wrestler of all time. The video would be too long, so that's why I just named some honorable mention. Here it is: Chyna, Sable, Sunny, Jacqueline, Medusa, Nikki Bella, Brubella, Maurice.
5 minutes later.
Naomi, Mickie James, Paige, Carmella, Ronda Rousey. Okay, trust me, this was a very difficult list. Let's start right now. Number 10. Alexa Bliss. She's very talented and achieved a lot of things in her WWE career. Okay, right now she's being used more like a mid-card superstar, but she was at her peak of the game during the year 2016 to 2018. She is way more better as a heel than a face. She's the first ever woman to win both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, also the first ever woman to win the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match. She has already accomplished a lot of things in her WWE career, and there's no doubt about that. She's a future Hall of Famer, and she really helped in building the women's evolution, and she is very talented in the ring. Here's number 9, Beth Phoenix. She is still in the WWE right now. Okay, she doesn't wrestle anymore, but she is still a commentator for NXT alongside Mauro Ranallo and Tom Phillips. She's a former Divas champion and a 3-time women's champion, and the youngest person to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. She's the second woman in history to ever competed in the men's Royal Rumble match and eliminated the Great Khali. She recently wrestled at WrestleMania 35 last year with Natalya in a tag team match, and she also wrestled in the 2018 and 2020 Women's Royal Rumble match. She is strong and a very talented in-ring competitor and is married to Edge. Number 8. Charlotte Flair, the daughter of Ric Flair. A lot of people say that's the only reason why she is in the title picture so much. But you know, there is something we can't deny. As much as we hate her, she does work hard. She probably work harder than the rest of the women's locker room. And she recently took it on Twitter to say what she feels, and she has also revealed why she is not on TV right now. She's a 13-time women's champion. She has won so much title in her career. Just won the 2020 Women's Royal Rumble match, main event at WrestleMania, yet the only championship she hasn't won yet is the Women's Tag Team Championship. And again, as much as we don't like her, we can't refuse the fact that she is one of the greatest superstars of all time, one of the greatest to ever step foot inside a WWE ring, and she does work hard. Number 7. Asuka. Okay, where do I start? She was undefeated for 914 days, having the longest undefeated streak in WWE history. Sorry, Goldberg. Asuka is the first ever woman to win the Women's Royal Rumble match in 2018. She's the second Grand Slam champion. She won all the championship in the WWE, winning the Women's Tag Team Championship with Kairi Sane, winning the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championship, and this year, Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Unfortunately, losing the streak at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. Damn it, New Orleans. But personally for me, she is way more better than Charlotte Flair and one of the best in the business right now in the WWE. Number 6. Sasha Banks. The standard, the blueprint, and the boss. Sasha Banks, currently one of the best wrestlers right now in the WWE. She is great at everything. Her character right now in the WWE is perfect, being a heel next to Bayley. Sasha and Bayley is the first ever woman to win the Women's Tag Team Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. She's a 7-time champion, 4-time Raw Women's Champion, former NXT Women's Champion, and 2-time Tag Team Women's Champion. She's the first woman to headline a pay-per-view alongside Charlotte in the first ever Women's Hell in a Cell match. She's one of the reasons why the women's division is growing so fast in the WWE, and she's one of the hell of a wrestler. Number 5. Bayley. Bayley is one of the best wrestlers right now in the WWE, considering that she's working on all brand Raw, NXT, and SmackDown with Sasha. Bayley is good at everything. Respect for you, Booker. I didn't say great. She's the first ever woman Grand Slam champion, just like I said with Sasha, the first ever women's tag team champion. Bayley is currently the SmackDown women's champion, the women's tag team champion, and the former Raw women's champion. She is fun, talented, and entertaining, and personally for me, she is way more better as a heel than a face, and she's very talented in the ring, and she works hard. Number 4. AJ Lee. She literally carried the women's division during the year 2011 to 2014. When she was in the WWE, she was a true superstar. She was popular, fun, and very talented in the ring. She was the only reason that the women's division was really interesting to watch. Let me tell you something, whenever she wants to return to the WWE, she can go back whenever she wants. With Vince McMahon trying to make her appear at the Women's Evolution, but she refused due to her husband, CM Punk. As you know, CM Punk and Vince hate each other in real life, but if she wants to return to the WWE, all she had to do is one little phone call and she will be back. She's the reason why the women's division was able to grow and become so important today, and she's a multi-time Divas champion, and she is one of a hell of a superstar. Number 3. Becky Lynch. Okay, right now she's not on TV and the possibility of seeing her again is not soon. But she's a world-class athlete, she's amazing in the ring, and her promos also. The first ever woman to main event WrestleMania, having one of the best nicknames right now in the WWE, The Man. Becky was supposed to have heel turn at SummerSlam 2018, but when she did, the crowd started to love it, and since then she became one of the best in the business. In the Fourth Horsewoman, people was always saying that Becky is the underdog, but she went from the underdog to the best and the most talented in the wrestling industry. Everybody can't wait to see her again on TV. She's a multi-time champion, former Raw and SmackDown Women's champion, and she is the best of the business right now in the WWE. She also won the Royal Rumble in 2019 by eliminating Charlotte Flair. Number 2. Lita. Lita comes from ECW, and she's the first woman back at the time to have a complete different style. Not like all other who was blonde, she was still beautiful and brought extreme to the WWE. She was unique, and still these days she still is. Being included in some of the greatest rivalry to ever happen in the WWE, she's a 4-time women's champion. She gained her popularity thanks to a big part of the Hardy Boys. She's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. She is strong, amazing, and entertaining. The last time she competed in the WWE was the Women's Evolution and the Royal Rumble 2018, and I don't know if she retired, because when she announced her retirement, she came back to wrestle in 2018, so I don't exactly know whether she's retired or not, but she is still one of a hell of a superstar. Finally, here's the last one, Trish Stratus. She has been included in some of the most unique storyline ever, like the one with Vince McMahon, but also thanks to her wrestling skill and her talent, she gained popularity quickly. She had everything. She was beautiful, her promos was great, she was perfect in her character. Trish and Lita is the first ever women to main event a show where they both main evented Raw, and there's no denying that among all those wrestlers, she's the #1 reason of the growing and popularity of the women's division. At that time, she was the first ever woman to be the 7-time women's champion. She was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2013, and she recently returned into the WWE at the Royal Rumble 2018 and in the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, and unfortunately lost to Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam 2019. She is still one of the greatest wrestlers of all time to ever step foot inside a WWE ring. So there you have it, that was the list. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you don't agree with this list, let me know in the comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more WWE content, and remember to like this video, and thank you very much for watching.